Here is what I'm focusing on as I rebuild my shot from scratch. After a lifetime of shooting right-handed, I switched to left-handed to help overcome a neurological disorder called task-specific dystonia. If you guys haven't watched the last couple videos, go back and watch that if you want to learn more. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of relearning my whole shot process. Everything from my stance, my grip, to how the release sits in my fingers. And I'm really needing to just break everything down, and I want to share with you today what it is that I'm focusing on so that I can build the proper foundation for my shot. For about the last 2 weeks, I have been posting daily on our social media platforms of just my progress with my shooting, what I've been doing. And really the biggest mistake that I could make right now, kind of relearning my whole shot process here, is chasing accuracy and chasing distance. I know that sounds maybe a little bit counterintuitive, but I really think that a lot of archers and bow hunters probably struggle with this. If you're putting so much emphasis into your accuracy alone, and you're buying the new gear and trying 3-fletch versus 4-fletch and different releases and all these different things, all that stuff matters. But if you're not building upon the right foundation, you could just be reinforcing bad habits. Now the foundation for me is very simple. It's just building the right form, letting my pin float, accepting that float, committing to the shot, and just following through and not putting that emphasis on the accuracy itself. Realize that if you put your emphasis on accuracy, it's going to end up costing you. You really need to put your emphasis on proper execution as you rebuild your shot, and the accuracy will follow. Now I'm starting at close range here, just shooting mostly at closer targets for these last couple weeks because I don't want distance to be a distraction at this point. When you're kind of rebuilding your shot and starting on a clean slate, like you just kind of forget all of the things that were automatic and subconscious in your shot. Like shooting right-handed, I didn't really think about setting my grip or how I came into anchor or how I centered my peep sight. A lot of that just happened because of the repetition that I did, right? And now as I'm rebuilding my shot, all of these things are suddenly conscious. And so think of it like when you first learn to drive a car, you're just paying attention to everything, right? Like everything is so conscious, you're thinking about every little detail. Whereas now if you've driven for a while and you're driving to work, you don't think about it. You just get in your car and you drive. You just do it. And so the mistake that I would make now as I'm starting over, rebuilding my shot, even if I wasn't switching hands, if I was shooting right-handed but just rebuilding my shot, the goal is to not introduce the distraction of aiming and a far target and accuracy. The goal is to make all of the simple things with shooting more subconscious. So things like grip, things like where my fingers sit in the release, how I come into anchor, how I aim, and even execution. So the biggest thing right now is getting all of that more or less subconscious. The biggest mistake I could make is going back, shooting distance, and not putting emphasis on my execution. That is why I'm focusing so much at close range to build the right foundation with the execution so that I can get the results that I'm looking for, so that I don't ingrain bad habits up front that then carry over and affect me down the line when I'm shooting. Bad reps can be more than just missed shots. Every shot you take is training your body to shoot a specific way. You can shoot thousands and thousands of arrows over and over again, but that does not automatically mean that you're going to get better with your shooting. You're just going to ingrain in your shot what it is that you've been practicing. So if you're not practicing proper execution, you are practicing bad habits. Now here's what I would not do if you are building a shot from scratch or rebuilding your shot. I'm not going to chase shooting distance too early. I'm not going to judge progress by one good group or one good day. I'm not going to keep shooting with bad execution and hope it magically turns good. I'm not going to skip over the boring part of building the proper foundation. And I'm not going to put more emphasis on where the arrow lands than how the shot was executed. I'm not trying to prove that I can shoot left-handed in my backyard or here at the indoor range. I'm trying to build a shot that I can trust when it matters most. In the end, that's all that really matters, right? Not a perfect shot here at the range or a perfect group or a perfect practice sessions, but being confident in that moment of truth when the opportunity is real and your heart rate is up. The real test will be to see what this looks like after 30 days of shooting. I'm not trying to look impressive by any means right now. I just want to build the proper foundation with the right form and the right execution in my shot.